What's going on, y'all? It's your girl V, and welcome to the Dating Chronicles. In these episodes, you are going to hear my craziest, most ridiculous dating stories that I have experienced in my lifetime. I finally decided that I need to share this with the world, and let's get into it. We're going to name him D. So let's talk about D. Um, I met him in a parking lot of a grocery store. So at the time, I was in a relationship with someone. It was a very serious relationship, and I felt smothered. It was really deep at the time. I was only 26, and I just felt like I needed to break free. So when I met D, it was like a release or a breath of fresh air. Like I felt alive again. And I know that's messed up because cheating is wrong, but hey, every once in a while everybody has a slip up, and that was mine. D was a 6'4" white dude, but he was, a little, he had some flavor to him. He was from North Carolina, so he had that Southern accent. And, I have a thing for Southern accents. I love me a man with a Southern accent, and I always have. So he wasn't the most attractive in the face, but everything else, like I don't know, it was just something about him. Like he had swag, and he was dressed nice, and he had a nice truck, and that accent on top of all of those things kind of just made that face not so bad. I really wasn't trying to go too hard because, like I said, I was in a relationship, and he was just my little getaway. He was something I needed for myself whenever I was stressed out. There was no sex involved. So in the beginning, everything was cool. It was just us vibing out. We would meet here and there. There was never really any dating going on. It was just kind of like meet up. Let's meet up. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other, that type of thing. And that was cool with me. He was funny, you know what I mean? He was that dude. Like, how back in the day you had voice like ringtones for a certain person when they called, and you got excited when you heard that ringtone because you just knew that's him calling. That was him. His ringtone was Bust It Baby by Plies Part 2. It was just everything. He was everything. Everything was dope. Like when I seen him at the club, like it was just like, in the movies when just everybody else slows down and you just see that one person, and it's just this strong attraction to that person. That's where I was at with D. Like he was that dude, and nobody really understood it because all they saw was his face. Like when I tell you that he wasn't attractive, like he wasn't attractive, like face wise. You know what I mean? He had some skin issues, like it was a little craterish, a little bit, little things like that. But I knew that he was clean. You know what I'm saying? Like I peeped those types of things. And so when people were like, "Ew, what the fuck, girl? What are you doing?" I was like, "Yo, you don't understand where we at." So I don't think we've ever went on one date. Don't think this dude ever took me on one date. It was the swag for me. And he was new. There was nobody that I knew that knew him. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time I was living in Pennsylvania, and there was nobody that knew who he was. And that was dope to me because I'm like, I like dealing with people who don't nobody know who they are. That means that exclusive, and I don't got to worry. So I thought, let's fast forward a little bit. Things started to get a little sketchy. Um, After a while, I would start to call, and the calls would not be answered. He would start sending me to voicemail. And, I started to feel some type of way. Eventually, he comes to me and he's like, "Yo, it's not like that. I just be busy. I'm moving, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm here and then I'm in North Carolina. I'm back and forth. I don't really live here. So, you got to understand, blah, blah, blah." And me being the idiot that I was at the time, I was like, "Oh, okay, well, he's busy and he just doesn't have the time." So, after a while, sex was great. He would come through, he would do his thing, and then he would leave. and he never stayed the night. And so that was like a huge red flag for me because I'm like, what the fuck is he leaving all the time? Like, where the fuck is he going? Like, what's happening? After a while, I started to question these things with him. Like, yo, I'm feeling some type of way. I don't really understand what's going on with you. But every time that you come through, you leave. You don't stay. We don't go out in public together. You don't take me anywhere. Like, what is the deal? Like, do you have a girlfriend? Like, what's the deal? Oh no, I don't got no girlfriend. I got kids, and my baby mama, she be tripping and this and that and the third. So that story, and it sounds good, but in reality, no. But when you're blinded by sex, and when things can just be smoothed over by some mind blowing dick, it's easy to be finessed. And I was heavily finessed for, I want to say, a good maybe 3 years, probably 3 years by this dude. Um, it got to the point where I started to follow him because I wanted to see where he was going. I wanted to understand, like, okay, where are you really going? Like, you say that you're going to go handle business and this and that, whatever that business is. I don't ask no questions, but you say that's what you're doing, but I don't know if that's all true. So let me get the answers for myself. I start to follow him. I follow him to a house, like a row house or whatever. And nothing looks out of place. He goes in through the back. I see him park his truck, he goes in, and I don't see nothing. So I'm like, okay, bet. Cool. He went home. All right. So a few more days go by. He calls me. At this time, I'm in school, because I went to college late because I had my son when I was young. And so I was in school and I was in my classes, and I had not talked to him for like 3 days. And all of a sudden, Busted Baby call rings in my class, and I instantly jump up, run out into the hallway and take that call because I already knew. I pick it up and he's like, I'm outside. So I run outside, hop in his truck, and we talk. And I just was like, this just isn't working for me. It's stressing me out. I can't concentrate. I just think that we need to just chill. And he was like, no, I don't want that. Like, I don't think that that's what we should do. I'm trying to handle business, and I really want you, and I don't want to lose you, and all this stuff. So it became a little more deep after that conversation. After that conversation, I felt like, hey, I had him. He's mine now. So I had a hunch another day. I'm like, let me just go ride past the crib real quick and see if he's there, because he's not answering my calls. And that's kind of not what's up. Like, you say you want me and you want to be with me, but you're not picking up my phone calls. So I ride past his house, and I ride past the front, and I see him with some lady. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? Because she was black, and I could, wasn't his mom. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, who the fuck is that? So I just rolled past and kept it moving. All right. So when I got to where I needed to get to park and send a text, I sent the text, letting him know that I seen him, you know what I mean? And he flipped out. He flipped the fuck out on me. So it eventually became, oh, what the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck you riding past my crib? Like, the fuck is wrong with you? You don't do no shit like that, and blah blah blah. And I just ended up hanging up the phone because, first of all, who the fuck you talking to? Who you thought I was? So I hung up the phone, hurt, feelings hurt, but whatever. I got a man anyways. So, after he cussed me out, I was like, all right, it's a done deal. Like, you ain't gonna be talking to me like that. Like, I will go up to your fucking bitch's house and tell her what the fuck really is going on. But, I thought more on it. It was like, fuck this. Like, I don't need this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I deaded the situation. A week passed. He hits me. Can I come through? My weak ass. Yes. So he comes through, and he's laying on me, and he's just like, I don't want to lose you. what do I gotta do to prove to you that nothing else is going on? That's my baby's mom. That was her crib. I was just dropping off my son. I don't know what you saw, but that was me dropping off my son. I don't be over there. And, it should have clicked to me that that was a lie, because I rode past and I followed him home one day and he parked and it was nighttime and he went up in there. But, I just was dick down and mesmerized. So whatever he said, I believed. Um, so I believed him, and I was just like, what it's going to take is for you to start taking me out in public and showing that we're together. Like, if you say that we're together, you're feeling me, you don't want to lose me, then prove it. You know what I mean? Let's take our kids out. Because he had a younger son. I had a younger son at the time. I think my son was like maybe 4 or 5. So yeah, let's go. Let's take the kids. All right, let's take the kids to Chuck E. Cheese. Bet. Let me go pick up my son. Let me go pick him up and let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. This nigga never came back. Aww. Never came back. And when I say I was devastated, I was so hurt. Like, I was like, wow, who does this? Like, really? You couldn't keep it 100? Like, you really, really just stood me up. Like, and never answered my phone calls. Like, I think after that situation happened to me, it left a deep scar, because it involved, like, I was excited. I'm like, oh, okay, he's gonna meet my son, because I didn't introduce my son to people. Like, that just wasn't my thing. I always took him to my mother's house, or he just wasn't around whenever I had dudes around me. And I think at that time, for him to be in my place, me and my man were on a break. So it was easy for me to have whoever I wanted in my house. But when he didn't come back, that shit hurt. And I was like, oh my God, fuck him forever. That wasn't the truth. 2 years later, he hits me and with this long ass text apology. I'm sorry. I wasn't ready and I got scared, and I just didn't know how to tell you. I'm not in a relationship with her, but there's a lot going on that you just wouldn't understand, and a lot of money involved. And I didn't respond to that text, because it was just that's all I needed to hear. You have a situation that you weren't upfront about in the beginning, and it's a done deal, sir. Fast forward to the end of this story. I had moved out of Pennsylvania and officially moved to Maryland in 2013. I get a text. No, I get a kick from D, and I'm like, what's up? Like, long time no speak. How are you? We exchanging pleasantries. At this time, I'm single as fuck. And horny as fuck, because I was single as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I just was like, hey, it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Why don't you come through? Let's link up. I'm trying to, I'm trying to get some dick. And I was like forward about it, because what do I have to hide? Like, I don't want nothing with you. I don't want you for real, but your dick is bomb and I want that. So come through. And that's kind of how I carried it. He was with it. He was like, send me your address. Oh my God, I can't wait to see you. I'm so excited. I'm like, word, he's coming. 2 hours later, I get a text from some lady, and she's just like, who is this? And I'm coming to you as a woman. Me and D are married, and I don't know what he told you, but can you tell me what he told you, because I need to understand. And when I ran it the fuck through. I was like, listen, ma'am, I don't know what's going on with y'all, but he hit me on Kick. Here are the screenshots. This is what happened. This is what he said. This is what I said, and that's it. So I was like, I don't want no beef with you. I don't have no problem with you. I didn't even know you existed. She tried to come with this little kumbaya moment and tried to be friendly and just constantly talking to me as if I wanted to be friends. Like, bitch, I don't want nothing else to do with you. I told you what it was. That's your husband, and I am sorry that he's cheating on you, but he's cheating on you. And there's nothing else to be said. Have a good night. And that was it. So that's my crazy story of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Dating Chronicles, and join me next week for another exciting and crazy story with Dating Chronicles.